How was the weekend?
Good.
Yeah. I'm trying to even think. We didn't do a lot, and so that was nice. But, my dog got hit by a car. Or let me say this. Let me rephrase it. He ran into a car.
So he's okay?
He's fine.
Okay.
We were out playing in the front of the
you'd
yard.
Say it if it was tragic.
No, I wouldn't.
Let me rephrase it. My dog died.
He's dead.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have said it that way. My dog died.
I thought for sure when he was rephrasing it, it was going to be like, he's fine. Instead, you were like, let me rephrase it. He hit a car. Still waiting on the end result.
Yeah. Welcome to our Film Fathers Podcast, the definitive podcast about fatherhood, film, and fatherhood in film. This is Jelani, and with me as always are a shit-kicking, stinky horse manure-smelling motherfucker. And this fucking butte they just put in now, Martin and Brady.
Listen to me very carefully. There are 3 ways of doing things around here. The right way, the wrong way, and the way that I do it. You understand?
Maybe if I stick your fucking face through that window over there, you'll get unconfused. Give me the fucking money.
This week, we're heading to Las Vegas. But not the glittering, Instagram-filtered Vegas you see today. We're talking about the raw, brutal, beautifully chaotic version seen through the eyes of Martin Scorsese. That's right. We're diving into Casino. Released in 1995, Casino is Scorsese at his most operatic. A 3-hour epic about greed, power, and the slow-motion collapse of a criminal empire built on vice. It's a movie that plays like a symphony of excess, anchored by powerhouse performances of its stars. It's about the illusion of control, about what happens when personal obsession collides with institutional corruption, about how the house always wins, until it doesn't. Where does this rank in the Scorsese library?
Well, it ranks in I haven't seen it in 30 years. I saw it in 95 or thereabouts, and I have not watched it since.
Yeah, it's probably about late 90s. Probably not 95. I didn't see it when it came out, I don't think. But I was surprised it was that old, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It still feels like his newest. After Goodfellas.
He doesn't have a problem filming for a long time.
No.
We've been watching a handful of movies here over the last couple of months, and we've had a nice share of like hour and a half long movies. This was a lot comparatively.
A stretch.
Double, even, some might say.
So I have never seen this all the way through.
I was going to say never seen it at all.
No.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah, never gotten all the way through it. So had to break it up into chunks because it is lengthy. I will say this for it. He tells a compelling story, but I don't know if I get the hype behind this all.
So I feel like it's had less hype than Goodfellas. Goodfellas is the one that's vaulted higher than this, I think. But I have heard people through the years, and not everybody, but there are people that say, I like Casino even better, or Casino is a better movie. So that's why I've always wanted to rewatch it and watch it. And I'm like, I know it's long. And I think I remembered it being worse than this rewatch. But I also didn't it wasn't like blown. I think it's just, to me, it's a little dated now or something. I think you said maybe the same thing about Goodfellas. Like, it's
I definitely didn't love Goodfellas as much as I remembered.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is just sacrilege, and we got a ton of fan mail about that when it happened. But so I remember thinking that this was a pretty great movie.
Yeah.
I do not think that currently. I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I don't know if based off both of those facts, if I am just like over the mafia
Is it
angle. I don't know if that's what it is, but so real quick, there was something that I couldn't put my finger on. I was like, I don't know what it is. I'm not loving like the whole thing. I'm just like watching it. Like, there's some really good performances. Sharon Stone's unbelievable. Like,
yes.
There's no doubt about it. Like, there's good performances in the movie. Pesci's great, but I was reading notes afterwards, And apparently there's an interview on the Blu-ray from Scorsese, and he said, there's no plot at all. He's like, it's 3 hours, no plot. So you know that going in. There's a lot of action, a lot of story, but no plot. And I was like, maybe that's the thing I couldn't put my finger on. I don't know. I don't have that as a definitive answer, but there's just something, in my opinion, missing, and maybe that's what it is.
Ray Liotta. I think this is the same thing as Goodfellas, except you take out Ray Liotta and you put him in the desert. Like,
yeah,
it's
but
the same type of story.
For sure. I thought Robert De Niro actually, I remember thinking he did great. I remember thinking
the three
when
leads
I first
I
watched
think are
it,
all
wasn't that
great.
But yeah, he was better than I remember. Like I think this is one of his better performances.
I think the three leads are really, really
Sharon
good.
Stone's
It's
great.
just that's why I'm saying there's just somehow I enjoy the performances, and it's long, but there's just I don't know. They never
because it's just a
there's no
bunch
fucking
of
plot.
it's a bunch of stuff that made Goodfellas good. Like where it has that one had a lot of plot, like to your point, but it also had these great little side moments, and this was all like backstory and side moments. It was like, oh, and then this guy back here, and when he used to do this, and it's all and they're shot well, and it's got the Scorsese soundtrack and the look and the long shots, the long following shots, like that were made famous in Goodfellas as well. But it's just to your point, I think that the whole thing doesn't come together into it lacks a little bit of heart in that sense or something like that. I don't know.
You what you touched on with the soundtrack at a reported $3 million at the time, Casino was one of the most expensive soundtracks in history, with over 30 different songs and compositions used over the 3-hour
There's a
runtime.
lot of music.
Yes,
There's a lot.
I feel like there were a lot of like weird versions of songs though too. Like I would have like picked the original.
So what's really funny about that, and I didn't know this at all, and I'm actually glad I saw it because the Tangiers is obviously a fictional casino, but it was based on the history of the Stardust Casino,
Yeah.
which is, they said, well documented throughout like history books about Vegas. But Scorsese discreetly documents that fact by playing the song Stardust 3 different times throughout the movie, which I definitely did not know. I mean,
didn't notice that.
I heard some songs repeatedly, but I
Yes.
did not necessarily know what they were or that it was called Stardust. So you kind of have to be in the know on that to catch that.
Wasn't the Stardust in the original Ocean's 11? Wasn't that the casino they robbed?
Oh, probably.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
And-
it has like those bright.
Yeah.
I mean, they all have bright.
I remember
lights.
them-
It's kind
them
of
Bright lights, huh?
stupid for me to say. Bright
Them
lights in
going to
Vegas?
it. And then they also played the Sammy Davis Jr. EO 11. I caught that in there. So I was just
Yo,
wondering-
11.
I thought that was maybe a nod to that. But
Brady's favorite movie, the original Ocean's 11. That I made you guys watch.
Yeah.
But aren't you glad you did?
I'm always glad that
I
I,
know,
did.
I know.
I just feel I should be able to voice my contempt.
We'll get through every movie someday.
They would have to be. They got to be getting close.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Like, the performances were good. I
Thought I was going to be the only one. I was like, oh man,
And
No.
it's kind of boring maybe if we're all in agreement, but I feel like we are because it's definitely not a bad movie, and there's definitely a lot to like. But it was a little ho hum.
yeah.
that's crazy. I really thought for sure that I was going to like, oh man,
I was
going
going
to
to come in here and be all like, what the fuck
Brady,
you
here
talking
goes
about?
Brady again. Doesn't like Goodfellas. Doesn't like Casino. I'm like, and I liked them all.
You do have the reputation for being the downer.
That's all I ever hear on the streets.
That's what Charlie keeps telling me. Oh, did Brady shit all over it? He's going to be mad at me. He's going to. I actually don't know how he feels.
I'm
about this.
unafraid to tell you if I don't like
Yeah,
something.
that's true. That's good. That's good quality.
Are we just... I think we are, like you said, there was no plot to it, so we're kind of just waiting for more to happen than just hey, this is the history, this is how the mob was running things, and this is how we set everything up. It's like, give me something else. Give me something, a conflict that, Sam had to deal with outside of, like, the gaming commission or having to pay back the mob or paying back the mafia.
I think that's right. Like, I think that's like those are just were tough to convey, right? This is based on real people,
Yeah,
so like,
right.
And it's I didn't realize that it is Nicholas Pileggi book for both, for Goodfellas and for this. So that obviously makes sense why the tone is the same, and basically, yeah, everything. So many of the elements are in both movies. But yeah, I think the plot is that they all eventually get busted. And it's really the FBI building the case, and that's why they know all these things, because it's in some type of, he was a crime reporter, Nicholas Pileggi was, so he knew all the stuff that really happened to these people, or whatever their different names. But but yeah, then it seemed to just wrap up quickly, right? Like, didn't it feel like it?
Well, yeah, it almost certainly. It's like, all right, here comes the roundup. It's like dead.
Yeah,
it's just
and
like
they obviously did a big final death for Pesci's character. But then it was like, okay, movie's just over. It felt like 3 hours, and then it ended very quickly.
yeah. And you go back to the 1995 thing. In the beginning, when you see a very obvious like dummy in the car seat, like did you notice that when the bomb went off and it's like it switches to like a very clear. There's just no effects to like even try to trick you, and it's just like I don't know. I found that I was like, dude, come on, Scorsese, what the fuck?
They showed that car bomb about 4 different times. Right?
You just want more from someone who has obviously the reputation that he does, and then I do like that you come to a couple hours later, you get to find out that he didn't die in a car bomb. Like you think, obviously, right out of the gate, you're like, dude, okay, I guess you're killing off the main dude. This is how we're gonna get there. That's fine, but then it comes to that, like actually, that it didn't end that way. I actually got out, yada yada. So.
Metal plate under a seat.
The classic
that nobody knew about. Not even the factory in Detroit. Okay, so going in and watching, the beginning where they're like doing all. I enjoyed like, hey, this is the mob. We're moving our stuff out to Vegas, and we have like people who are in Kansas City and then back east in New York and stuff like that. To kind of like that stuff kind of intrigued me, but then. After a certain point, right, you're like, okay, I've seen this. We're just rehashing the same thing. Like, yeah, they're making money, they're skimming it. Okay, now people are coming back in like, hey, you got to go out there to stop them from skimming. But now I get ambition to go, Pesci goes off the deep end and goes.
The pen. That's the scene I definitely remember. Him stabbing
the guy with the pen.
Do you remember? I remember the Vice.
Is there a little girl in here?
The head and the Vice.
Head and the Vice, I did not remember the eye popping out.
I remember the hammer.
The hammer on the head.
In the line, like you could take the money or the hammer, but you can't take both, or something like whatever that line was. But I wonder if at 15, 16, 17, whatever whenever you saw this movie, 13, I forget you're younger. Yeah. We didn't have a ton of the mob, movies, shows at that point.
For sure.
Now,
Pre-Sopranos.
Yes, Pre-Sopranos. Maybe you'd seen Goodfellas at 13.
I had seen Goodfellas.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I watched this after Goodfellas.
Yeah, because Goodfellas was 91.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean you saw them at 10.
But I watched Goodfellas first and then
whatever you were. But
I was like 15, yeah.
We had less exposure to that life. I mean, we've seen a lot of mob movies, a lot of stories. I mean, Kansas City, Vegas, we've heard all these things by now. So I wonder if now, being older and having been exposed to all that,
I think that's part of it.
We're desensitized to a little bit. We're just like, yeah, I kind of know where this is going. The mob's gonna put people out there. They're gonna take care of the people to cover their own ass, and I don't know. I feel like
I feel when I watched it as a kid, it was probably more boring to me because I didn't.
But I
couldn't grasp all that stuff. But I remember thinking that at the time. I remember being like, it's just long and a lot, not really a lot happens. Probably didn't understand a lot of it. So that's why watching it now, I'm like, I didn't hate it by any means because I think I understood it more as a 44-year-old than a 15-year-old. But still, all your stuff is true as well.
Yeah.
That it's just I've seen it all maybe done in a different way, or maybe not necessarily
probably inspired
better,
by
but
this.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, you got to give some credit where it's due there. But I just prefer Goodfellas is just a tighter, better, more entertaining movie. Even though, you got Sharon Stone as a much better performance than like Lorraine Bracco, and I don't really love. Ray Liotta doesn't bother me in Goodfellas, but Joe Pesci I think didn't do as well. I feel
I
like
think
there's
he
a lot
was
of
saying
Pesci.
Ray Liotta was what was missing.
Yeah.
So he's saying he was a good thing in Goodfellas.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think
He's
I
like
don't
the
think
rug.
It would have
Tied
been
the
too
room
much.
together.
Yeah, I think it would have been too much if he was in this one too.
Oh, obviously.
I think he just
I'm
means
just
that
saying
character.
he's generally.
You needed a character.
It was a flash in the pan, is what I'm saying for him in Goodfellas.
Right, but I think
he's not that great.
I think what you needed. I think
See Copland.
The thing about Ray Liotta's character in Goodfellas is this is somebody who's coming into it new experiencing everything like for the first time, seeing how all of this works.
Yeah.
Whereas in Casino, everybody knew how it all worked, right? There was no mystery. There was no like surprise. There was no shock and awe. There's no wonderment to it. It was like, yeah, this is how we've been doing it. You're just now, we're putting you in charge of it. You know, like, hey, this is now your job. You have to make sure it keeps working the same way. And so there's nothing like creative that Sam had to come up with to like get more money. I mean, yes, he did change like the sports books.
But they just made a lot of money. Like you said, they
were just making money.
I think your earlier point is like the conflict that they faced was just not really that suspenseful, or like it was kind of anticlimactic. Like, okay, you had to get around like being able to run a casino. They did that. Here, we're just going to do this. Okay, done. Like there's no way to build that up and be suspenseful about it. It just is. They just moved on, and then they're on to another. Okay, his wife spends a lot of his money, and she's a booze hound junkie. James Woods, great sleazeball.
Yeah,
pimp. I guess.
What was his name? Lester Diamond.
Lester Diamond. But really, I mean, I don't know. I think you could shave an hour off this movie and it'd be as good, if not better.
Or at least half an hour.
And even like you said, with the conflict, once they did introduce the gaming commission conflict, like that was it, right? He stopped being the boss and he started being a talk show host. And it was like,
that was weird. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I know. That's it didn't make a ton of sense.
The scene I do remember, and every time I step into a casino, I think about is when he's like, the dealers were being watched by the pit boss. The pit boss is being watched by the floor manager, all the way up. I think about that every time I look around. And I'm like, all right, who's the floor manager? Who's watching? Who's the owner? Where is he?
Eye in the sky.
Yeah, and then now it's all eye in the sky. Yeah.
Well,
eye in the sky watches everybody.
And then that was funny when they had the eye in the sky. It was just people with cameras like in the ceiling.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. The pros looking out in the ceiling. And I like that they did show like how they were signaling and cheating with the tapping. That was interesting too.
Yeah, I think we, like you said, Brady. We've been inundated with more of these movies. We've also been inundated with more casino movies, more like the remake of the Ocean's 11. We've seen the Rounders and 21 and all of these films where like, okay, this
Cincinnati
is
Kid.
Yeah, like how Vegas works and how, people have been trying to crack Vegas and all this stuff. And, I'm always up for a good heist film, but there was no like heist elements here.
Yeah,
it was just
could have used a little bit more of that, or some gambling.
Yeah,
some real actual, I don't know, some type of gambling stuff. But that wasn't the story.
You're right. It was all the politics of it, and even with Nicky and him, trying to be the enforcer, and then realizing he could get more money if he just started shaking down people, and then starting his own thing where he's just running whatever down the streets, and it was just like, okay, I can see where this is going. Like they're gonna come to blows. Though when they met each other in the desert, when Sam and Nicky met in the desert,
that was a good scene.
Was that the same desert as Mr. Chow in The Hangover?
Yeah, was it
probably
like the same area,
couple of miles down couple hundred yards down the road. They were like literally out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I think maybe in 1980 it was all like that.
Well, so I loved that first shot early in the dark where they just had like an aerial of like how lit up it was. So I'm guessing not, but I was fortunate. I've been fortunate enough to drive to Vegas from LA and at night. And you literally are kind of like in this mountain area, and you like round a little bit of it, and you're just like, there's light off of the what's the pyramid one?
Luxor.
The Luxor. You can see like the beam. Like there's just, it's a pretty cool experience to see like this area that is kind of fucking in the middle of nowhere in the grand scheme of things, and the way they showed it in the dark with just a ton of light, and that's again in the 90s, way different now,
right?
Way different.
Well, I think about that too. It's like, you think this movie is like, oh, it's way in the past, right? When in 1995, even I was like, oh my god, this is ancient. It's like 78,
but it
and
was,
80.
Yeah,
it was only 15 years ago. 15 years ago,
right?
But isn't it? It's just wild to me. 15 years ago now is 2010. That feels like nothing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's always like that. Back to the Future, the 30 years. We've talked about that many times.
Yeah.
We've just kind of stood still, I say, for the last 25 years, really.
I was
Culture and everything.
watching it. I was thinking about how I thought Pesci was really, really good.
Yeah.
No,
I was. Go. No, you go. Let's praise something here.
no.
And then,
We glossed over, but I think Sharon Stone was unbelievable. She got nominated, I think, for an Academy Award.
Yeah,
won a
or
Golden Globe.
Yeah,
she won the Golden Globe, got nominated for an Oscar. I know you only care about the Oscar,
it's the only one that matters.
but I thought Pesci was really good, and I would say obviously he's had some known roles over the years. We talked about Goodfellas, and obviously My Cousin Vinny.
Love My Cousin Vinny.
But I think this is one of his better roles, in my opinion. I thought he was. I get the counter argument immediately, but I do think he was really good and played the wise guy kind of perfectly.
Yeah, it was iconic for sure. He, you guys haven't seen The Irishman.
I did.
You should do. Oh, you have?
I fucking watched it.
3 hours of that too.
It's like 3.5.
See, what I liked about that is that Pesci was understated in that one. So
Yes.
they did kind of I can't remember if they really flipped roles, but I just remember that Pesci wasn't the over the top guy was refreshing, and I thought he did really, really well in that.
Yeah.
Because it just was different than what you expected. But yeah, another collab between
The three.
the three. Yeah.
The three, yeah. I mean, they get each other. And they said a lot of De Niro and Pesci were just improvising and ad-libbing.
Oh, really?
They were just kind of
That
to each
that
other.
makes you like him more. That's impressive. Because that was, I mean,
Hence the overuse of the word fuck.
but it really works. They really have it down to a science, right?
I think that's what you get, and probably to the point, right? They've worked
Yeah.
together a bunch. Obviously, not Irishman at that point, but
Raging Bull
Scorsese
and-
clearly trusts those two, and they know each other enough to be able to just kind of riff off each other. And I'm sure
That scene in the desert was great though, because there is, as much as they were like, you got the impression that they were really, really close friends. Like at some point you almost expected one of them to be like, all right, I'm sorry, I love you. But
Yeah.
didn't really quite happen, but they're still, they're not going to just kill each other either.
Right. I'm taking sides, but I really felt like De Niro's character was the one who was closest to that. It felt like he was always trying to say. I think there was some underlining. There was something more to it, but I think it felt like consistently was like, hey, I tried to tell you, like,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
trying to look
Yeah.
out for you here and warn you about this. And Nicky was just like, fuck you,
Right.
fuck this,
'Cause he's
fuck
the main guy.
everybody. Yeah, fuck. I'm fucking do whatever the hell I fucking want.
Right. I mean, they were both delusional in the end, right, and wrong. Neither one of them was more right than the other one. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like, it seemed like that De Niro's character was definitely more closer to being like, hey, I'm just trying to look out for you.
Well, and I think because he was in a situation where you're right, he wasn't made, right? He was just in a position of power and a lot of respect and fame that came with it, but in running a just insanely profitable enterprise, and like, nobody fucked this up for me.
Yeah, where you
And
can
then-
put $2 million in the safety deposit box.
And he
Right.
fucked it up himself by, having by not being able to not claim the power that he wanted.
Stupid guy giving that key over to his wife. I thought the bank manager was gonna. When he questioned him for trusting his wife, I thought he was going to get smacked around a little bit. Be like, what? You don't think I fucking should trust my wife?
Dude, she tied her fucking daughter up.
Dude, that was crazy. Didn't remember that at all.
I
Why
know.
would you do that?
Dude.
But she's like, I was just going to be right back. Just let her be.
She was already
just let her
sleeping.
sleep then.
She wasn't sleeping.
No.
You don't tie up a sleeping kid.
Sleeping kid, tied up, door locked. Like,
Oh my
man.
god. Yeah, that's a
Worst.
this is what things they allowed to happen.
I mean, she did warn him.
yeah, she
She's
did.
like,
She
we
filmed-
have a mutual respect. It's like, no, she don't respect you.
No.
I did kind of like that redeeming quality about Sam was that, he cared about his daughter. He
yeah.
wanted his daughter to be back with him because he did not trust Ginger. And it was just like, yeah, I get it. Like, you don't trust her. I wouldn't trust her. You went into this and it was like a terrible idea to
Yeah,
begin
should have
with.
never trusted. Literally should have never. The situation where he met her and saw her should have been the red flag. But,
Right.
But she's Sharon Stone.
You gotta lock that shit down.
A lot of supporting characters that were. Frank Vincent has been in a lot of these movies too, right?
Yeah.
He got to finally be on the other end because Pesci's killed him in multiple movies,
really?
and
That's
he
funny.
got to take Pesci out this time.
Yeah.
Because he got killed by Pesci in Goodfellas, and I think I read, but I don't remember.
He's the go get your shine box guy, right?
He got killed in Raging Bull too.
Or no?
I don't think he is the Shinebox guy.
No, I don't think he's the Shinebox guy.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
But and I think he got killed in Raging Bull too. So whether
I haven't seen
intentional
Raging
or
Bull in a long
not, I
time.
think Scorsese gave him
Threw
the
him a
opportunity
bone.
to take the bat to Pesci.
Yeah.
He was Billy Bats.
That's why I get to take the bat to him.
Yeah.
Pun
And then,
intended, brother.
Kevin Pollak.
Yeah. I totally forgot that he was
Totally
in this. And he
forgot.
was very small.
This
very small
will
role.
be in the. This will be in my mind for the
Same
pyramid.
year as Usual Suspects. So it was a Kevin Pollak year.
Coming up. This was his
That's
year.
two pretty solids to put out in this to be in the same year. Yeah, I saw something where, we've talked about this. I think when we did. Oh shit! The comic. What the hell's the movie in the 70s with
Yeah.
King of Comedy?
King of Comedy.
Jeez Louise, that was struggle bus.
King of Comedy.
He likes a comedian, right? And he had the amount of people who were in this movie who had like comedic backgrounds. Don Rickles, obviously, who didn't even get a chance to be funny at all. Alan King, Kevin Pollak, Dick Smothers, Steve Allen, and Anthony Russell, all people who with comedic backgrounds who were in this
Dick
movie.
Smothers Brothers.
Yes, sir.
And who was he in the movie?
He was the senator.
Okay.
The one that had the hotel room with the prostitute.
His name was Senator.
And then-
Yeah, Kevin Pollak, obviously. Alan King was Andy Stone. Rickles was obviously Billy Sherbert,
that's a great name.
obviously. Yeah, so there's something to that, right? Like, I think Scorsese does appreciate the comedic talents, and Pollak is fine. I don't know that it needed to be him, obviously, but yeah, like I said, I'd completely forgotten. I definitely will use this now in my. Now it's up in the bank.
There's not a whole lot in the bank, though.
Now it's fading fast.
Recency bias, and then it just goes away, fades into obscurity.
I'll be sitting at work one day, and be like, "What the hell was that movie? I just saw it, man. I can't remember it." This is how it works for me. In one day, out the other.
There's a book that I got a couple years ago called Havana's Nocturne, and it's how like the
Is that where you sleep with the wife after she's married in Cuba?
That's yes, that's what they call it in Cuba.
So it's going to sound really weird to anyone who doesn't know what I'm referencing, but you know what I'm referencing.
I got you.
Martin doesn't know what I'm
I don't
referencing.
know.
Remember in Braveheart when he reinstates Prima Nocturne? And sorry,
Gotcha.
Johnny, you can go back to your point that I derailed.
But yeah, it's
How the mob owned Cuba.
Cuba.
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it says.
and
They slept with the wives after they got married.
got him,
All
got
right,
married.
cool. I knew
But
I was
actually,
onto it.
that was frowned upon as we learned in
Yes.
Casino. You don't mess with
Certain
somebody
lines you
else's
don't
wife.
cross.
But I think that's like kind of builds off of this story, or it's another like variation to see like how widespread their reach was. But at the same time, right? Like it just never the organized portion of it kind of fell out, right? And you had these guys coming up and just doing whatever they wanted to, and it all kind of falls apart. And now, obviously, like they said at the end, the corporations came in and took over. My question is, do you think in the, I don't know, the next 5-10 years, we're going to get something similar about like maybe, I don't know if like Wall Street would work for this, but like how like bankers and things like that have like owned Wall Street and like the secret cabal of them like running things kind of aligned with this, where like it was Vegas, but now it's like New York or Wall Street. And I mean, we kind of had that in The Big Short.
I think they've like all the criminal activity has moved to crypto.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Do you think we're going to get like hey, this is how we did crypto back in 1990 or 2000, like right at the turn of the
Probably not
turn of the
90.
millennium?
So you're saying that the mob's going to take
Not
over?
the mob, but like it's going to be the tech guys, like how the tech guys were able to build up their empires, and based on .coms or I don't know what the strategy is going to be behind
Yeah.
it, but are we going to get a similar like expose from like I don't know the
Oh,
director
maybe. Yeah.
who would do it, but
I got you.
digging into like somebody like a Pileggi digging into the like Lewis did
Let's
with
say Michael Lewis is going to be your
Michael
guy.
Lewis is your writer, but like what's the one he did about the stock trades? It was after The Big Short.
Well, he did do one on.
That was before, right? It was,
what's his name on the guy who?
It's what made him.
No, that's Liar's Poker.
Yeah.
But there's another one he did not right after, but shortly after The Big Short. It's all about how like there are certain traders that were able to make trades like
The premonition.
milliseconds after
Are you talking about? It's like Flash Boys or
Flash
something like
Boys.
that.
Yeah, something like
Flash Boys. But he did, going to your point and somewhat to my point, going Infinite, The Rise and Fall of the New Tycoon. That was 2023. It was about Sam Bankman-Fried. Mm-hmm. So that's
Yeah, he was embedded
crypto,
with-
the FTX thing.
He was embedded with him when it happened.
Yeah. So I haven't read that one yet, but
Yeah.
I think that's
could be the next.
the pretty much exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, there's going to be all these people that are going to come out that like they did some shady shit with crypto, and that it'll eventually be
It's
like
probably,
fully legit.
I think it's currently happening actively right now.
Yeah.
On the largest scale in front of us.
What are you talking about? I don't know. Thing looks fine and dandy to me.
I just wish mine would boom. It's trying right now.
It's busted. Yeah, I just think, like you said, this is in '95. This was something that like kind of shocked people and was like, oh, this is how Vegas came to be what it is. And now we've seen all
now
the
it's
stories
tame
about
in Disneyland.
It's
Yeah.
Disneyland, and we've seen the stories about the mob and the mafia, and
Right.
they've been told in so many different ways that you're just like, yeah, all right, I get it.
Yeah, Wall Street was back in the day. That's what I have. But yes, I think cryptocurrency is one of them. Maybe there's some other stuff with tech, maybe something with AI, but hopefully not, because we really need that shit to work the first time, and we need lots of safeguards in place. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Every new industry, has these kinds of growing pains, and when it is just literally where the term comes from, Wild Wild West, when you're all rushing to Oklahoma for the land grab, and you hear the Sooners and all this stuff. It was just there's interesting stories to tell, because the winners tell the stories, right? So yeah, whoever figures it out and gets there first is going to be the winner.
Are you guys fans of Vegas?
I like Vegas. I'm a big. I don't know. I don't trust people who are like, no, it's not for me. 'Cause it's like there's something for you. You
There
just
is
got to
something
figure out
for
what it
you.
is. If you just like food, you don't like food in good hotels? Like, come on, you could just do that.
I think
you don't have to gamble.
that's a fair point. I think
Yeah.
there's and I'm guilty of it too, right? Like the underlying assumption is like Vegas is gambling.
Right.
There are so many shows, so many restaurants, everything is designed for everyone to enjoy something. It's
Right.
shopping, it's eating, it's entertainment, it's gambling, it's all
Yeah.
that. Golf.
You want to go to the Sphere and see an amazing concert you're never going to see anywhere else? Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were in Vegas?
It's been a minute. Maybe when I was with you guys.
I was gonna say mine was Matt's bachelor party.
Oh, really? That long ago?
Yeah.
That's fun.
One of my great surprises.
Yes, it really was. I think I came up to you and like stroked your beard because you had like a big bushy beard. I hadn't seen you in like a year. You were on the road or whatever. Right?
Yeah. So for
and you were like, well, that's never happened before.
for the listeners who don't know, I was out there. I was traveling the western part of the United States.
How were things on the West Coast?
Yeah, that was actually active around that time.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I really loved
know.
that song.
I know. I remember things.
Hooray for Interpol.
That's still in my brain.
The Heimlich Maneuver was one of the songs. Anyway, so I was out in the vicinity, and that would have been 2007.
Yeah, I think so.
2007. There was a crew of our friends came out to
For a bachelor party, and that was the first time I'd really ever been in Vegas.
yeah,
as an adult.
and I'd been there once. Well, prior
as a
to
kid
that
with
year,
with my parents, but
but so I coordinated to be there, and I just was playing craps at I think it was the MGM,
Yeah.
while you guys
Yeah,
were.
that was
I don't know
right.
who else. Was I coordinating with you? I don't remember. Or
Probably
you?
Kevin.
Maybe Kevin.
Yeah.
I was coordinating with somebody. I was like, oh, I'll be there, but it'll be a surprise for, and it was,
It was absolutely a surprise.
and I was, well, and then the thing was, I was playing craps and I got hot and the table got hot.
Yeah.
And so like, I was supposed to just like go meet everybody. I couldn't leave because it was just raining in.
Yeah.
So it was just like, hey, I'm like, but I'm rolling
Don't
and I'm feeling
mess up
it.
my vibe
Yeah.
here.
So it kind of was extra. I would have liked it to have been a bigger, more like reveal, but at the same time, I was like, I can't stop playing craps right now.
No, it was
loving every second
it
of
was
it.
perfect. Someone moved, and there's Brady standing at a craps table with a drink in hand. That's exactly what you want.
Good times were had, that's for sure. I was glad to be able to be a part of it.
But I go often. I'm actually going in a couple weeks.
Oh, are you?
With Charlie? We're doing there's a programmatic IO, a work thing. So
Problematic IO?
programmatic.
What about you,
That's what we
Jelani?
do.
Like I said, I haven't been since the bachelor
Did we say it?
parties. I did.
All right, so
Yeah.
like we said, did we say it?
Yeah,
I
he
don't.
did say it.
Yeah. So where I'm at right now, gambling wouldn't be the first thing on my list, but
Golf.
golf would be. Although
And it's expensive.
It's
It's
so
so you're gonna need to gamble in order
Right.
to play for it.
the most expensive round of golf can be played in Vegas at $1,200 for
Is that
one
right?
So dumb.
Shadow Creek.
Well, but what's the cheapest?
It's,
Well, in Vegas, it's probably-
I bet it's like 3. I could be wrong. I mean,
don't
there
know.
might be a
You
dink.
might go
rinky-dink,
like out to Summerlin or something like that.
but there's
like,
some nice, like good courses. I bet it's over 3.
yeah.
Okay.
Unless you are again habitual and you can get comped to do something like that. Like it's almost like that's
You
the
don't
way.
want to be. You don't want to be that habitual. You're
I
spending
know,
lots
but
of
it's
money
almost
to
like
get
that's the
comped.
way to like experience a bunch of shit. It's like
Yeah.
to be able to be comped.
Yeah.
But I think I would like to like experience more of the restaurants because when I was there, we were hitting the what was it, the $5 buffet at the. There's some we were up
At
all night.
O'Shea's? They don't
It
have
might
that
have been
anymore.
no, there wasn't O'Shea's. I feel like it was like some cowboy thing. Or
I
whatever.
don't think I've ever done a buffet, even though I know it's
There's like a
huge
breakfast
They have some
buffet.
really good ones. If you go to like the Wynn,
Of course they do. They have it all.
it's
Right.
like the best buffet you'll ever have.
And I was wrong. It wasn't the year that I saw you guys because the following year I was out there because we worked, I think, for like a week, which was rough. It was like that was the longest I'd ever been there, and I'm like, okay, I get
you
what,
can't really do it for more than a few days.
right. I get what they say. Like it's a couple of days, especially because I do like to gamble, and that is, I love to play craps.
Yeah.
and that shit can go south fast. And it has. But I really don't gamble much at all anymore. I couldn't even tell you the last. Actually, the last time I did was your end of your divorce or your end of your.
Where did we go?
No alimony.
Yeah, where did we go?
We went to Rivers,
Oh yeah, we went to Rivers.
or some of us did.
after dinner.
Some of us
Did
went to
I go?
Rivers. Yes, you, Steven, me.
Yeah,
Matt,
I didn't gamble
I think.
much though. 'cause
It was hard to find a place to sit down.
that
But
I
that
do
was the
remember
last
going.
time I've actually gambled anywhere.
yeah.
No mo alimony.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, even poker? You're not counting poker.
No, I'm not counting poker.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not gambling. That's skill.
yeah. Right. It's true.
There you go.
People insist on calling it luck.
And when I play, it's all luck.
I did go to for CES this year, the Consumer Electronics Show. That was for work too. But nobody like walks the floor anymore. I talked to a bunch of people. Like we had work meetings, and then like the last day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see it because I'm here for it. And it's overwhelming. There's so much.
It really is a lot. And like I said, I just like to play craps. I can play poker, but I know I'm not like great. And
But blackjack and craps, right?
yeah, I don't even play a lot of. I prefer craps over blackjack.
Yeah,
10,
for sure.
10 times out of 10. But I don't think that's common. I think a lot of people prefer blackjack. Some people like
No.
to just sit at a blackjack table for it's a couple hour venture.
Yeah, I would love to if I'm winning something, but it
Yeah.
sucks when
Stake
you're
like
just.
that?
It's just so boring when you're. Well, of course, I'm about to say something stupid, like boring when you're losing, but it's like you just lose so much money so fast, and there's not much.
I've done that at the craps table too.
Yeah, yes.
That's why I
But
like
there's
the
the
poker rooms.
opportunity for that getting hot, and then everybody's winning, and it's
Yeah.
so much fun, and you could just be there for an hour, and if
Yeah.
you're the one rolling, it's even more fun.
Right. Yeah.
So that opportunity, you're like you're willing to pay a little bit for that.
Yeah.
Where at blackjack, it's like, okay, I'm winning. I don't know if anyone else is. it's exciting for you, but it's not nothing like the craps table.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Yeah,
You and
that's what it
I grew up together on the craps tables of the Isle Capri, and, the Quad Cities, Iowa.
See,
That's me, you, and Matt. I remember we learned how to play craps at the boat.
Yeah.
The guy, they were great. They helped us become suckers.
Yep.
isn't that supposedly the best game to play?
It has the best odds.
If you do it right, there's the best odds at the
Yeah,
casino. But most people don't play the way
right.
that you.
Right.
No, most people, you see people play just so stupid and put money into the field there. But and then it works for them. They're like, oh well, that worked for me that one time.
We're all gluttons for wanting to experience like the high, and it's like, yeah, we're all fine. Like we all just sign up, I think, for like, I know I might not win all these, but it's like, but when I do, it's gonna feel great. Oh, hit the field number 3, boom, let's do it. So, yeah, I'm just curious on the Vegas thing. I haven't been in a very long time, and I'm with you, Martin. Love the food, shows, all that, but
You're a big Cirque du Soleil fan, I know.
It's not a huge draw for me right now. I couldn't even put it that high. There's so many other places I'd rather go.
Yeah.
And I think there was a time I was like, I actually legitimately almost hopped on a flight to Vegas one night at like 2 a.m. because we were just like, we'd been out
With friends.
Yeah.
Recently you're talking about?
Not recently.
No, okay, yeah. I was going to say, I'm like,
Mary, I'm in Vegas.
pre-kids.
Why, you
Don't worry
lying?
about the kids. there's Egos in the freezer.
But legitimately, it was like 2. We were out all night, and at like 12:30, so it's like we should go to Vegas, and I was like, let's fucking do it.
I think the thing is too, people will be like, they'll go to Florida or for the beaches or something like that. But I prefer pools, and you're guaranteed hot weather in Vegas. That's the thing.
Always.
Almost always. So it's like you could be out. You're going to get sun. You're going to get a nice pool, and yeah, like a good meal. So like even if it's just for that, yeah,
Fun times.
As always, you're fucking warned. Don't ever go over our fucking heads again. You motherfucker, you. Just subscribe to the pod already. Thanks, and go to bed.